They say goalkeepers have nothing to lose in penalty shootouts. I disagree. Like a player scoring the winning penalty, a goalie can save the losing one. The odds are weighted against you, but you should still fancy yourself to be the winner, your side's literal savior. I saved 2 penalties for Aston Villa vs Bolton Wanderers in the 2000 FA Cup semi-final. I had my routine. I'd go off on my own, compose myself, then head over to the lads, save a couple, and win the game. Euro 2004, the quarter-final against Portugal. The game ends 2-2 after extra time. It goes to penalties. I'm about to begin my routine. Then Gary Neville walks up behind me and starts shouting non-stop in my earhole. It was supposed to be positive, but I just wanted to tell him to give it a rest. I couldn't compose myself. The sad thing is, I looked over at Darius Vassell and told him, he's doing my head in. I don't know if he heard me, but Darius went on to miss his penalty. Usually, keepers wish each other the best before the shootout. Ricardo and I didn't during the Portugal game. Perhaps I was still trying to get Gary's voice out of my head. I watched on from the side as David Beckham ran up, slipped, and sent the ball over the stand. The worst bit is watching on, hoping you score to make a penalty save even more crucial. When it was my turn between the posts, it was a very clear competition, mano versus him. And there's only one winner. Everything went quiet. I can't remember if there was any noise in the stadium. Deco scored. I couldn't get close to the others. I fancied myself to keep 1 or 2 out, and I didn't. Despite that, when Rui Costa blasted his over, we were level and Elder Postiga had to score his penalty to keep Portugal in it. I went down a fraction of a second too early and he chipped it down the middle. It was very frustrating. It went to sudden death. Ricardo took his gloves off and saved Darius's penalty. Then he stepped up for the final one. I knew I had to save it, or we were out. I committed too late and he buried it in the bottom corner. It was heartache, frustration, and tremendous disappointment. I didn't physically save a penalty, and that annoyed me. I was there for one reason alone, to be able to produce, and I didn't. In the dressing room I picked up my phone and there was a message from Robbie Fowler, unlucky Shilts. It was a reference to Peter Shilton, who didn't save one either in a shootout, for England versus Germany at Italian 90. I laugh about it now, but at the time it was Final Destination stuff. We didn't practice penalties much for Euro 2004, but there was plenty of practice at the World Cups I went to, in 2002, 2006 and 2010. Fabio Capello was massive on them. We'd practice every training session. Unfortunately, we didn't win or concede a spot kick at the 2010 World Cup, but I guarantee that this England squad will be practicing in Russia. Gareth Southgate did it when he was manager of the U21s. There's a theory that there's no point practicing penalties, that you can't replicate the intensity and pressure of a shootout. But I argue that you can't replicate the pressure of playing, so why even train in the first place? Ultimately, if you practice hitting it in the top corner again and again, you expect to hit it there in a game. And despite what many think, players don't get penalties past the keeper every time in training. Not in my practice, anyway. Where it goes in or not isn't down to technique. The best players are more than capable of scoring penalties. It's a mental thing. And if you're not mentally on it, you won't do what you've practiced. An unstoppable penalty in the bottom right corner suddenly becomes savable, or misses the target entirely. Today, keepers will probably have a PDF of every penalty taken by every player, ever. They look for consistency among takers. If a player has gone down the middle before, the goalkeeping coach will know about it. That's why you're seeing more keepers stay down the middle. I'm actually a fan of shootouts. There's a limited number of variables. It's all down to how that guy strikes a ball on that one occasion. It's clean, understood, it works. Sure, it's frustrating when you don't win. But that means you weren't good enough to win the game in normal time. And it also means you're in the knockout stages. Better that than losing in the group stages. LG, partners of the England men's team, and David James surprised residents of Wembley Grove, Birmingham, with free LG TVs and sound bars so they can live the game this summer. Watch the video.